Welcome. Have a nice day. Today is Thursday, 24th of October 2024. United Nations Day is celebrated on the 24th of October, marks the anniversary of the entry into force in 1945 of the United Nations Charter. From the international history point of view, in 1648, the Treaty of Westphalia was signed, ending the 30 Years' War in the Holy Roman Empire and marking a turning point in European history. The United Nations was also officially established on 24th October, once again 1945, emphasizing the date's importance in the global governance. From the Indian history point of view, 24th October 1577, the 4th Sikh Guru Ramdas founded the city of Amritsar. The city was named after Talab Amrit Sarovar. 24th October 1579 also, Jesuit priest S.J. Thomas was the first Englishman to come to India. He reached Goa by Portuguese ferry. 24th October 1605 also, the Mughal ruler Jahangir took the throne in Agra. Starting the newspaper analysis with the newspaper The Hindu states that India close to finalizing industry carbon targets ahead of Baku meet. People walk near the Baku Olympic Stadium, the venue of the Conference of Party 29, United Nations Climate Change Conference in Baku, Azerbaijan on October 18, 2024. Numerically specifying the targets is a precursor to the setting up of a compliance carbon market. This means that the companies have to ensure that their carbon emissions intensity is within the specified limit, or that must buy credits from organizations that have surplus credits. In the run-up to the 29th edition of the Conference of Party in Baku, Azerbaijan, next month, India is at an advanced stage in deciding on the carbon dioxide emissions intensity targets for select industries, a senior official in the Environment Ministry told The Hindu. Numerically specifying the targets is a precursor to the setting up of a compliance carbon market. This means that the companies have to ensure that their carbon emissions intensity is within the specified limit, or that must buy credits from organizations that have surplus credits. Every ton of carbon dioxide saved over the above the target is worth one credit. The price of the credit varies depending on the demand and supply and regulatory pressure, and this is mediated by market. Emissions intensity are caps on carbon dioxide emissions per unit of production. As per a notification by the Bureau of Energy Efficiency (BEE) in December 2023, India is obligated to launch its compliance market in the 2025 to 2026 financial year. A body called the National Steering Committee for the Indian Carbon Market (NSCICM), which is chaired by the Secretary Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change and Secretary Ministry of Power, is tasked with having direct oversight of the functioning of the Indian carbon market. While the focus on the Conference of Party in Baku is expected to be on the countries agreeing or to have a new financial goal of the developed countries to transfer to developing countries, expectations are high that carbon markets will get a formal go-ahead under the United Nations-backed climate charters. A specific section under the Paris Climate Agreement of 2015, called Article 6, specifies the countries under which carbon markets enabling carbon trading among countries can be operationalized. There are still some outstanding issues on accounting for these credits. It is only once negotiations start next month that clarity will emerge, the officials added. Turkey strikes Kurdish militant targets in Iraq and Syria follow a deadly attack on defense company. Turkish Interior Ministry Ali Yerlikaya speaks as he visits headquarters of Turkey's aviation company TUSAS, while people were killed and over a dozen others wounded in an attack near Kahramanmaraş, a town Turkish capital Ankara, on October 23, 2024. The Defense Ministry said more than 30 targets were destroyed in the aerial offensive. Turkey's Air Force struck Kurdish militant targets in Iraq and Syria on Wednesday, October 23, 2024, in an apparent retaliation for an attack at a key state-run defense company that killed 5 people and wounded more than 20 others. The defense ministry said more than 30 targets were destroyed in the aerial offensive, without providing details on the locations that were hit. It said all kinds of precautions were taken to prevent harm to civilians. The strike came hours after the suspected Kurdish militants set off explosives and opened fire at the aerospace and defense company TUSAS. The two attackers, a man and a woman, also were killed. The Interior Ministry Ali Yakaya said at least 22 people, including 7 security personnel, were injured during the attack. Turkey regularly conducts airstrikes against the PKK, which has foothold in Iraq, and against a Kurdish militia group in Syria that is affiliated with the militants. There was no immediate statement from the PKK. The Islamic State group and leftist extremists have also carried out past attacks in Turkey. I condemn this heinous terrorist attack. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan Rajab Tayyip Erdogan said during a meeting with the Russian President Vladimir Putin on the sidelines of the BRICS meeting in Russia. Now, going towards the Hindustan Times newspaper states that cyclone Dana set to make landfall near the Dharma. Indian Meteorological Department says cyclone Dana formed over the central Bay of Bengal on Wednesday and moved northwestern gradually towards the Odisha and West Bengal coasts. Visitors at the beach in Tigha, West Bengal, ahead of the landfall of cyclone Dana. Dana is expected to cross North Odisha and West Bengal coasts between Puri and Sagar Island, close to Bhitarkanika and Dharma, Odisha, during the midnight of Thursday to morning of Friday, as a severe cyclonic storm with a wind speed of 110 km per hour, gusting 120 km per hour. India Meteorological Department has warned. Dana over East Central and adjoining West Central Bay of Bengal moved northwest towards with a speed of 12 km per hour and lay about 420 km per hour south east of Paradip, Odisha, 450 km southeast of Dharma, Odisha, and 500 km southeast of Sagar Island, West Bengal on Wednesday evening. According to RMSI, a global GIS consulting and risk management company. This cyclone will likely impact 34,000 buildings, 1,200 essential facilities, 3 railway stations, 450 km of road length, 5,500 km of electricity network, and 250 km of the oil and gas network. Essential facilities, including school, healthcare, fire stations, and police stations. This impact is concentrated in Jagat Singhpur, Kandarapur, Puri, Parthak, Baleswar, Kartak, Ganjam, and Jaipur districts, as per the RMSI modeling for Odisha. Migrant laborer shot at in a Jammu and Kashmir state of India in Tral district in latest in a series of such attacks. A migrant laborer was shot at in Tral in Jammu and Kashmir's Pulwama district in the latest in a series of such targets attacks, New Agency Press Trust of India reported without further details. From the economy point of view, the business today, we cannot risk another bout of inflation, Reserve Bank of India Governor Shaktikant Das. The newly constituted 6-member MPC left the repo rate, the key policy rate, unchanged at 6.5% for 20 consecutive months due to the worries over high inflation in the October month policy. Governor Shaktikant Das, who voted for the keeping the repo rate steady and changing policy stance to neutral, wrote in the minutes released on Wednesday. Hindustan and Unilever Limited profit declines 3.86% in Q2 to pay ₹29 dividend. Foods and refreshment business declined 2% with a low single-digit volume decline, HUL said. Hindustan Unilever Limited HUL has reported a 3.86% decline in the standalone net profit at rupees 2,612 crore for the quarter ended September 2024 Q2 as against the rupees 2,717 crore in the same period of the last year as the FMCG demand witnessed a moderating growth. EBITDA margin at 23.8% continued to remain healthy. In the base quarter, there was a one-off indirect tax credit from a favorable resolution of past litigation, which benefited both the top line and bottom line in the beauty and well-being segment, Editorial said Hindustan Unilever Limited. Now going towards the world news, including head of United Nations Climate Change Conference, developed nation want more countries to scale up financial contributions for the climate action. Donald Trump unfit to be the president, claims VP Kamala Harris, vice president. Donald Trump accused of groping ex-model, his campaign denies allegation. Harris calls Trump a fascist as ex-chief of staff warns of dictatorship if elected again. McDonald's shares plunge amid E. coli outbreak in the United States. Head of business vows to improve safety. Sri Lanka East Coast on alert for anti-Israel threat. Israel urges citizens to hide identity. Now going towards science and tech. Russia, Iran, China's effort to sway United States voters may escalate, new Microsoft report says. Intelligence officials on Tuesday also warned that Russia and Iran may try to encourage violent protests in the United States after the next month's election. A new threat intelligence report from Microsoft says foreign adversaries have showed continued determination to influence the United States election, and there are signs their activity will intensify as election day nears. Foreign adversaries have shown continued determination to influence the United States election, and there are signs their activity will intensify as election day nears, Microsoft said in a report on Wednesday. Russian operatives are doubling down on the fake videos to smear Vice President Kamala Harris' campaign, while Chinese-linked social media campaigners are malgaining town ballot candidates who are critical of China. The company's threat intelligence arm said on Wednesday. Russia, China, and Iran have all rejected claims that they are seeking to meddle with the United States election. The presidential election are the United States domestic affairs. China has no intention and will not interfere in the United States election, the Chinese embassy said in a statement. Having already unequivocally and reportedly announced Iran neither had as any motive nor intent to interfere in the United States election, and it therefore categorically repudiates such accusations, read a statement from the Iran's mission to the United Nations. TSMC halts chip supply to customer after finding it in a Hawaii. Product source says TSMC has suspended shipments to a customer after one of its chips ended up in the Hawaii product. The United States curbed the export of advanced artificial intelligence chips to China 2 years ago, citing the need to limit the Chinese military's capabilities. Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Co. has suspended shipments to a customer after it discovered that one of its chips supplied to the client ended up in a Hawaii product. According to a Taiwan official familiar with the situation, about 2 weeks ago, TSMC suspended shipments to the client and began a detailed investigation. The trade and economic official said, speaking on condition of anonymity, given the sensitivity of the situation. Working around the clock to prevent flight threats in India, Twitter says several dozen Indian flights have faced the highest threats over the past. X, formerly Twitter, said in a statement that it is working around the clock to keep X safer for all our users in India. The statement comes after the company reportedly faced criticism from the ID Ministry for abetting threats against Indian flights. A spokesperson for X, formerly Twitter, said on a Thursday that the company has committed to crack down on terror threats being made on the platform against Indian flights. The statement comes a day after a reported meeting by an official from a Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology accused the social media platform of abetting those issuing such threats. We prohibit violent threats on X and take any such reports seriously, the spokesperson for the social media platform said in a response to query from the Hindu. That includes and not unlimited threats to harm civilian infrastructure essential into daily civic or business activities. Our team's systems and reporting channels are at work around the clock to keep X safer for all our users in India. Sanket Bhondevi, Joint Secretary at the Ministry in charge of, among other things, issuing takedown orders on behalf of the government to social media platforms, had reportedly issued a rebuke to social media platform, particularly X, for not doing enough to crack down on these threatening messages. X did not address the official's remarks directly, and Mr. Bhondevi did not respond to multiple calls and messages seeking comment on the meeting. Class, there's a famous quotation by a famous scientist, C.V. Raman, whose full name was Sir Chandrasekhar Venkata Raman. Birth anniversary 7 November 1888 up to 21st of November 1970. Was an Indian physicist known for his work in the field of light scattering. Using a spectrograph that he developed, he and his student K.S. Krishnanan discovered that when light traverses a transparent material, the deflected light changes its wavelength. The phenomena are hetero to unknown type of scattering of light, which they called modified scattering, was subsequently termed the Raman effect or Raman scattering. Raman received the 1930 Nobel Prize in Physics for the discovery and was the first Asian and the first non-white to receive a Nobel Prize in any branch of science. In 1970, he was appointed as the first Palit Professor of Physics by Ashutosh Mukherjee at the Raj Bazar Science College under the University of Calcutta. On his first trip to Europe, seeing the Mediterranean Sea motivated him to identify the prevailing explanation for the blue color of the sea at that time, namely the reflected rayleigh scattering light from the sky as a being incorrect. He founded the Indian Journal of Physics in 1926. He moved to Bangalore in 1933 to become the first Indian director of the Indian Institute of Science. He founded the Indian Academy of Science the same year. He established the Raman Research Institute in 1948, where he worked to his last days. The Raman effect was discovered on 28th of February 1928. The day is celebrated annually by the Government of India as the National Science Day. Mr. Raman says a very famous quotation, which says that success can come to you by courageous devotion to the task lying in front of you. Okay, thank you.